G'day Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur here for you, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet, man. And come on, you Spurs are on their way to Wembley. Tottenham's gonna do it. Not again, because it's the Spurs women. It was their first semi-final in the FA Cup, and now it's their first trip to Wembley. Hopefully we can see Beth England's armpits in a few weeks, lifting up some silverware. That was a damn good game, actually. Spurs were on top pretty much the whole game. Leicester City scored early on. Then Spurs equalised, and it was amazing they didn't score more goals, actually. The only slight wobbly bit was beginning of extra time. Spurs finished normal time quite strongly. Then about 5 minutes, Leicester looked like they were going to do something, but no, they weren't really. And it was a good game. That Naz is a good old player, and it's exciting, so well done to him. Very exciting. I'm glad Optus Sport cover that as well. It's not another subscription I had to fork out for. Capitalism, eh? Just interrupting myself for a second. I did predict that the Spurs women would win 2-0. I was close, but I knew we would win. It was all based on hard evidence. It was based on the fact that my daughter plays football, and they won 2-0. I mean, they won 11-1 the day before, but they won 2-0 yesterday. And what? That's not good enough science for you? Well, my daughter is a bit camera shy, but she said I can show a picture of her shirt. Look at this, squad number 61. If that ain't a good omen for Spurs, then nothing is. Anyway, in other news, looks like the cheating robots of Manchester City might well inch their way to a fourth successive league title. How boring's that, eh? Can't wait till they get kicked out of the Football League altogether, the cheats. Because can you rely on Arsenal to do a job? No. I'm seeing headlines. Arteta got it wrong. Oh, who'd have thought that fraud would make a mistake? But bottling it again, losing 2-0 to Aston Villa. And yeah, I mean, that makes top four harder for us, but hey, makes it hard for Arsenal now, so that's all right. And also Liverpool. What? Crystal Palace? What's going on with these teams? I don't know. And they say we're Spursy, when of course Spursy to me is a free kick by Paul Gascoigne from like 5 million yards out against Arsenal in an FA Cup semi-final. That's what Spursy is. So these bottling teams are not exactly making the Premier League competitive. No wonder Manchester City are running away with every year. We've been a sleeping dog, but we're coming back. Next year, the title, as I predicted months ago, next year the title will be ours, and it'll be between us and Arsenal. Let's face it, it's us and Arsenal, which means it's ours because Arsenal just go, oh no, there's a few games left, the pressure's on, and they just melt. They just melt like a Milky Way in the sun, or a Mars bar. No, Milky Way, and they're not the meal you can have between the snack you can have between meals to keep you full up. They leave you deeply unsatisfied, and all their fans are crying and wailing. I love it. It's fantastic. So it's going to be. Why is it between us and Arsenal next year? Well, Clippity Klopp's going from Liverpool, and they look buggered now anyway. With woeful performances against Atalanta and now Crystal Palace. Just thought I'd ditch the car there for a second. So, you know, it's disappointing, isn't it? Disappointing. It's a gruelling old season, but it looks like the robots are gonna take it again. Now, so Clippity Klopp's going. So that's Liverpool, because I don't know who they're going to get as manager, but they're not going to win bugger all next year with a new manager. Aging squad, you know, needs a bit of a refresh. Of course, Manchester City are going to be kicked out of the Football League as long as the suits and the lawyers get their act together. And so it's just us and Arsenal, really. There's no one else knocking on the door, I don't think. I think Villa are flattering to deceive. They're not going to do anything. But it bodes well for the North London derby, because I can add up, and if we beat Aston Villa 4-0 and they beat Arsenal 2-0, well then, ergo, my prediction of 6-0 might come true against Arsenal, and that'd be a right old turn. I'm going to go 6-0 anyway, it's 2 weeks away. Might as well get excited early for it. Now, just saw a headline there, and oh my lord, journalism and the news it befuddles me. I don't know how many layers of cack this story is based on, but it's from a website called Tottenham News Daily, which smells a bit... stop beeping, you... Alright. Yeah, it's one of those websites that smells a bit of AI. You know, one of the ones that usually puts in the same blurb before every story, before you find out what the real thing is at the end, and then it's nothing to do with the title. So the title of this one said something like Rio Ferdinand, or this is Mickey van der Ven must be axed. Like Rio Ferdinand said so. And in the article, it didn't say that he said that. And I'd be surprised if he did. The quote was, Mickey van der Ven's a Rolls Royce, but sometimes you need to take him out from an MOT. So I don't know what this... it's just clickbait, isn't it? Why the hell would you drop Mickey van der Ven after one performance like that? I mean, everyone was a bit on the nose. So, but I mean, look, if Rio Ferdinand did say this, remember, this is the man who said, I'd be honoured to be made England captain. I'd be willing to take up the mantelpiece. So I don't know if we can trust Rio too much on things. Another report I saw, some bloke reckons that even if we miss out on Champions League this year, which might happen, you know, like I say, I'm not fussed either way, that Ange will not get the sack. Now, I don't know if this is based on anything, but you know, we have got form of letting our managers go if they don't get into Champions League. But I think we've made such an improvement this year, and the future's looking so bright. You'd have to be a complete nutter to get rid of Ange at this stage. I know hashtag Ange out is percolating around on the internet. Blimey, wait till we beat Arsenal, then it'll be oh we love Ange, we've got our Tottenham back and all that. It's just so, it's like borderline. It's like hot, cold. People say oh yeah, I'm consistent. No, you're not. You're going bang, 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 bang. So, I mean, that's an achievement for Spurs, though, to have the same manager for a year. First time since Poch's last full season. So that was a fair old while ago now, wasn't it? And I'm just thinking, you know, we got to stick at it. God knows what the internet would have been like if it was around in the 70s when Keith Birkinshaw took over. And we drifted down towards the second division for a brief spell. Hashtag Birkinshaw out. And it took time. It took time after we came back up in 78. It took 3 years before the fruits of Keith's labour will bore fruit. So I'll tell you, I try and find a bit of nature, folks, and it's a bloody lorry reversing school. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I mean, if it took him 3 years to get us from second division to winning silverware, if Ange can do it in 2 years, that's about par for the course, isn't it? I think Keith Birkinshaw had a much bigger rebuild on his hands than I think only 2 players remained, which would have been Glenn Oddle and Steve Perriman. Oh, Pat Jennings, but then he went as well. So there was a complete gutting of the Spurs team. You know, it had been neglected a little bit towards the mid-70s, getting a bit older. You know, we always have good owners at Spurs, don't we? That was probably the beginning of our run of rubbish as well. Sowed the seeds for an Irving Scholar takeover. He buggered it all up by doing like Hummel and all that, and then Alan Sugar, Mr. Amstrad, give him a mug's eyeful. Ran us into the ground. Now we got these other lot of clowns, but well, what can you do? We'll just keep the manager for this year, and then it's onwards and upwards to the Spurs-sphere and beyond next year. I can't wait. I'm enjoying this season. I'm going to enjoy the next few games. Anyway, that's enough for me now. Bloody lorry's going to beep again. Peace and love, man, and come on, you Spurs.